Hey coaches, thanks for joining us for our second installment of running the air raid at the middle school and youth levels. Just finished up on the last video with welcoming you in, talking about why we are using the air raid to help with participation numbers and letting these kids play ball the way they want to play it, like they do at 7-on-7 and flag. We just want to help youth football coaches understand that they can run the spread at this level and want to give you everything you need to do so. So this video will be all about formations. We only use 3 for our entire playbook, and then talk about the specific skill sets that kind of go with these spread positions, okay? So if you guys haven't kind of joined in the conversation, please do subscribe to Coach Lasker on YouTube, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and then you'll see this bi-weekly Coaches Roundtable national basically show we do on Zoom. We want everyone from defensive coaches to run dominant coaches. We just want to get youth football as great as possible. So join us no matter what type of coach you are. We'd love to talk with you guys and talk through why you do what you do, and hopefully we could all get better because of it. As you can see, we have a ton of videos that we're going to be doing. We're going to take it through A to Z, how you can implement and run the air raid. Right now we are in this formation and skill set types, okay? So let me pop out of here real quick and take you to our huddle playbook, where you can see our formations. We only have 3, like I said. We have a 2x2 set, a 3x1 set, and then a 2-back set. There are definitely some differences. I am air raid certified, and there's definitely a few nuances that are different from what I do, and kind of what they do with the traditional air raid. I wanted to make this as easy as possible for youth players and kids and coaches to be able to learn it and teach it, quite honestly. So I'll tell you about the differences that I do, but let's pop in here and let's get started. So first thing you want to see in here, or that I want to show you, I should say, is our ace set. And that's 2x2. So you see 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right, and a running back in the backfield. Ace means that this tight end has his hand in the ground, and he's lined up as a traditional tight end. So let me just go through real quick some rules that you need to know going through here. And this ace is air raid terminology. This is what they say for this same formation. But instead of having an X here, instead of having an L here, they have an X, and most people do have X's, but you'll see this more and more in high school and maybe even beyond, where we've changed that X to an L. And that just means this left side receiver, that's his position. He doesn't switch sides ever. He doesn't go to the right side. He stays on the outside, and at this left receiver position, he learns all his plays and all his routes. He just becomes a master at playing his position from the left side. And kind of depending on where these guys are lined up, tells him if he's on the ball or not. So in a traditional ace, he is on the ball because F, it's a set rule that F is always off the ball. Okay, so we can put him in motion, we can use him on fly sweeps, we can motion him out even, but F is always off the ball. So in a traditional 2x2 set, F is off, L is on, okay? Now this Y in ace is a hand in the dirt tight end. And the next formation called open, he splits out, that's what the open means. And it could either be a hand in the dirt tight end that's standing up, if you have one that's good enough, like we did last year, or it could be a slot position. But one thing you will see in ace or open is that the Y, or any of our formation, as a rule, the Y is always on the line of scrimmage, okay? So it's just a rule. We've kind of gone back and forth at this, but you guys can decide how you want to do it. But for us, the Y is always going to be on the ball, okay? Which means in an ace or an open set, Y is on, that means R is off the ball, okay? So a good rule of thumb you can teach L and R is that if Y is on your side, you are off the ball, okay? So again, this R is always on the right side, is going to master his plays and his route tree from the right side and just be an expert at that. This T is very much a tailback. We want to make sure that he's not seen as just a fullback, because he actually is involved with every every pass play. He's a huge part of the passing offense. He will catch as many balls as any of these receivers. He'll run the ball. Obviously, we run a lot of GT counter and power plays, draw, and he'll need to block as well. So this continues to be in youth football, probably one of your better athletes. We just brand him as a tight end. So that's Ace with the hand down tight end. Here's Open with the tight end split out. Everything else stays the same. Do want to kind of talk to you right now about most high school and college coaches, especially in the air raid, have this F called an H back. So you'll probably see that more than you'll see an F out here. There's only a couple of us that use F for fast or featured player. So you'll see a lot of teachings with H here and then an F here for feature back or fullback. We just changed the terminology a little bit, but you can use traditional H and F, or you can just stick with what we're doing. Anyway, so this is our true spread 2x2 with the receiver out here for tight end. Again, you can, for personnel wise, you can switch this guy in and out with a slot receiver type or just a tight end type, really up to you. One other difference that we do, and you'll kind of see here in a second as we put in our 3x1 set, true air raid teams don't flop the Y. True air raid teams have the Y on the right side no matter what, and the L and X on the left side no matter what. They will put this R all over the field if they want to do trips out to the left. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it as simple as possible, but I do want to just differentiate between what we're doing and what a true air raid team does. But we are not. As you can see, we're going to move into our 3x1 set. And you're going to see 3 receivers to the right and then 1 to the left. So early is our 3x1 to the right. So you hear that R in there. That means, hey, when we're going fast, running up to the line after no huddle, early, that means we got 3 receivers to the right in one word. And so as you can see here, this L is all alone on the left side. And you can teach these outside receivers. If they're by themselves, they need to be on the line of scrimmage. Pretty simple for that guy to learn that. And so here's a couple of rules that we need to go over so you can drill this into your team's heads. Okay, so when we are early, when we are trio to the right, the Y is always between the F and the R, okay? And the F is always between the Y and the offensive tackle, okay? Obviously the R is way outside, and because the Y is to his side, like we mentioned earlier, he's off the ball. Again, teach these outside receivers. If the Y is to your side, you're off the ball. So if you see here, as we go to late, and now Y and F flip over here, Y is to the L side, so he's off the ball, and R is all alone, so he's on the ball. But again, the rules still apply. Y is always between the outside receiver and the F. In this scenario, is between the L and the F, and F is always between the Y and the tackle on the end of the line of scrimmage. So again, going back to early, Y is always between the outside receiver and F is always between the Y and the outside line of scrimmage. And we flip to late, same rules, okay? So everyone is getting this. It's like a little triangle. It's always outside receiver, Y, and F, okay? No matter what, all right? And again, Y is always on the line of scrimmage, so F is always off, and the outside receiver to his side. Now, as we go through this T, typically speaking on our 3x1 set, he's opposite of the 3x1. But the great thing about this offense, it's so simple and easy to learn. He'll learn where to line up depending on the play that's being called, but in general, he's typically offset away from the 3 receiver set, okay? So that's our 2 3x1 sets. And then here's a little bit of a different wrinkle. We are using the green and blue terminology from the air raid, but we want to just differentiate here and make it easy. So green is 2 backs with a spread out open tight end. The R is always to the right. Since the Y is on his side, he is off. Y is always on. L is by himself, so he's on. So green with the R is that receiver, or the Y is to the right. So blue For us, everything stays the same except now blue is the tight end to the left. And now since he's on the line on the L side, L needs to back off. R is by himself, so he moves up, but the running backs stay the same. And so we can call all of our plays out of these three formations. And I just want to go through our very small playbook. In the next video, we're going to put a menu up of all the air raid plays, and there's quite a few of them, but you need to make some difficult decisions on which plays you want to make. But for us, you can see our all verts. You can run it out of these 2x2 sets, run it out of our 3x1 set, and run it out of our 2-back set. Our stick concept, running out of the 2x2 set, running out of the 3x1 set, and running it out of the 2-back set. So as you can see, that continues to go on with all of our plays. We will run them all out of these three formations. Again, we want to go fast. We want to be able to run up to the line of scrimmage, open all verts, and that's the whole call, and they're off and running. Okay, just hold up the 6 finger, because when you call all verts, it's called 6 in the traditional air raid terminology, because that's what we're about to get, is 6 points. Okay, so anyway, that is the formations. I do want to go through real quickly the type of players we talked about here. These outside receivers, they tend to be a little bigger. They tend to be great possession receivers. They are going to fight for like go balls and outside release, jump balls. They are going to run a lot of snags, which is like kind of a slant and sit. And they are going to get the ball a lot out with like quick screens. We're going to throw the ball out here. They're going to be one-on-one with these cornerbacks, typically a little bigger possession receiver types, but if we find some fast guys that are solid, we'll put them there too. The F receiver is a true like hybrid slot, Julian Edelman type, where he's going to catch a lot of balls. He's going to catch a lot of outs, a lot of slants, hitches, quick shots, some down the seam even a little bit. This position gets a lot of balls. Obviously, in the air raid for middle school, we can't throw too deep all the time on the outside. That's a long throw for a 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old. So these slot receivers will get a lot of quick balls. We'll use this guy in motion, run some fly. He'll come back here in our 2-back set, as I'll show you in a second, and literally run the ball out of the backfield. So this F position is a pretty great utility position. This Y, as we kind of talked about, can be a hand of the dirt tight end, can be a slot receiver. It's just kind of up to you for personnel purposes, what you want to do. A lot of teams that just don't have a basketball type of player will just go pure slot receivers and just run quick screens to death to both sides and utilizing this guy's talents. And then, like I said, T is a all-purpose, probably still one of your best athletes at the youth level, but he needs to be able to block and catch. So a lot of runners can't catch, but we want to make sure that this guy can, because as you can see, you'll see in the next series of videos, this T is involved with every concept. So these 3 guys will be working together quite a bit for these passing concepts, and he is going to be a part of the first, literally the first reads in the quarterback progression. So anyway, that is just a quick overview on our formations and our kind of skill sets. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying my best to keep these videos under 10 minutes so you can consume them quick and continue to move on. But please subscribe, join the conversation, and definitely join our round table so we can all talk ball and get better together, and hopefully keep youth football thriving and get back to a point where it was in our youth, where not kids are coming out to play football. It's their first choice, and they want to play this style of ball. So let's give them that opportunity too. Okay. Thanks again. Tell a coach, and